Hi, I'm Mick. Welcome to Sheffield for the qualifier.
The Brisca Formula One stock car season is certainly into full swing. And today the drivers move on from our last meeting on the tight confines of Woodhull Stadium to the wide sweeping turns of Owlerton Stadium, Sheffield in South Yorkshire. A World Championship qualifying round is the meeting today, with around 35 cars here to compete on this tricky shale track with its unforgiving post and wire fence. All of the top shale driving names are here today to compete for World Championship qualifying points ahead of the big meeting at King's Lynn in September. Some great racing is in prospect on the Owlerton Shale today. We begin with a whites and yellow grade only race, followed by two heats in the first part of our programme. Then in the second part, a consolation, a final and a Grand National. Ready then for the first of our 6 races today. 15 cars on track for the white and yellow grade only race, the 2 lowest grades in the points chart. If you are unfamiliar with Formula One stock cars, the higher your grade, the further back you start on the grid. As you can see, you can tell the drivers' grades by the colour of their roofs and aerofoils. Yellow flag is out, so the car's heading round on the rolling lap. Russell Cooper at the head of the yellow grade alongside 268 Richard Woods, 216 in there of Jack France, carrying our onboard camera for this race. We are on board with him with 215 Jeff Nickolls and 532 Daz Kitson, the ex-Formula 2 stock car world champion behind us. Leading the cars around, number 20, teenager Liam Gilbank, and 495 of Richard Howarth alongside him. 348 John Wright has had a good start to his season. He'll be moving up the grades next month, I'm sure. So this will be 16 laps then to kick off the day here at the Owlerton Stadium in Sheffield on the Shale. We are underway on a rather wet and slippery track. It's been a damp day so far here in South Yorkshire, but we are underway with the first race of the day. You can see how long and rather narrow this track is, and already 242 Joe Nickolls in trouble there. He's the first to spin out. You can see how wet the track is, especially on the inside line. Liam Gilbank leads them off in car number 20. 348 John Wright gets the bumper in on Richard Howard, sends him out wide. Richard Woods spins behind them in 268. It's Liam Gilbank who leads the first lap of the day in car number 20. See his father Mark racing later on in car number 21. There's 364, that's Rob Plant. 526 of Finn Sargent. We've already seen his dad Mark, a winner this season in front of our cameras at Woodhull. Behind them 275, that is Terry Hawkins. Bumper work there as Finn Sargent uses the inner curb on turn 2. Short straights here at Sheffield. It's virtually all turns. This track almost D-shaped. See the cars sliding their way around, and you can see the unforgiving fence posts around the outside. Well, if you hit one of those, you're going to be brought to a dead stop. There's 215 going through. That's Jeff Nickolls. He's under attack from 364 Rob Plant. He gets spun around there, the 215 car, and nearly goes head-on into Terry Hawkins. Excuse me, says Terry. Takes to the grass down the back straight. Somebody else going off there as well. I think that's Finn Sargent in 526. It's still Liam Gilbank leading the way in car number 20. Car in the fence at turn 3. That's Scott Wright in 254 in one of the higher cars. John Wright's no relation to Scott that we know of. Under fire here from Russell Cooper in 415, and Jack France getting the bumper in on both of them, trying to force them wide. Side by side there, all they've hooked together there, Jack France and Russell Cooper. Nice bit of parking into the fence on turn 4. Now, can they free themselves? Yes, they can. Mind our camera, Jack France. You can see it there on the back of his cab. That's it back underway. 242 Joe Nickolls comes in on the attack again, sending Jack France onto the infield. At least it's dry there, but that's not part of the racetrack, Jack. He rejoins just in front of Daz Kitson in 532. So a fair bit of mud being slung around already in this white and yellow grade race. Who's that taking to the inner curve there? 495 Richard Howarth. Scott Wright's car in the fence on turn 3. Still Gilbank who sets the pace in car number 20. Made the break at the start. Coming up on Daz Kitson in 532. He goes wide there. Liam Gilbank. Is Richard Howarth going to go through? Yes, he is. So Howarth, it looks like, takes the lead now in 495. 348 John Wright bounces off Liam Gilbank there. Looks like it is Howarth into the lead now. 364 Rob Plant is up behind this little lot. Looks like he could be in 4th place now. Unfortunately, we don't have our live timing for this race, so apologies for that. 495 Howarth, a driving instructor by trade, leads the way. Finn Sargent has spun onto the centre as Rob Plant goes through into 2nd place. into third place rather, with John Wright ahead of him, and Plant looks the quickest car on track at the moment. So we're just past halfway. We saw the Union flag go out to signal 8 laps gone and 8 to go. Richard Howarth out front in 4.95. Round turns 3 and 4, past the stranded car of Scott Wright. Behind the leader is Daz Kitson. I think he's a lap down in 5.32. Still on the inside, Howard's gone wide. Through goes 3.64. Rob Plant takes the lead into turns 1 and 2. Howarth, I think, slowing up there on the outside slightly. Here's the 3.64 car that has taken over. Rob Plant, Liam Gilbank in problems there as well. He's gone onto the infield. Possibly problems for the 20 car. He was running in the top 3. Plant chasing Daz Kitson in 5.32 down the back straight, but the yellow flags are coming out. We have a caution period. That means the cars will form up single file and come to a stop. So there's a problem somewhere on the raceway, and it looks like it is 2.54 Scott Wright in the car hired from Matt Newson. Hope we see Matt back out racing soon. So just checking on Scott Wright there, the officials. We'll see on replay what's happened. Did somebody collect his car there? It's been stuck in the fence for a few laps. Yes, it was Liam Gilbank, number 20, who crashed into Scott Wright there. So the officials just concerned for the man in 2.54. So that's why Liam Gilbank had slowed up. Ready for the restart then. It is 3.64 of Rob Plant with the lead, ahead of Richard Howarth in second. Away they go once again. Jeff Nickolls in 2.15, slowing up on the outside. The uncle of Joe Nickolls in 2.42. Rob Plant under fire here from Richard Howarth, who's fighting back. The caution period allowing him to recoup the lost ground. Plant leads it. 2.16 up there as well. That's Jack France. He's going for second. He goes through into second. Next in the order is Joe Nickolls, and Howarth goes off onto the centre down the home straight. Nickolls up into third in 2.42. That's a good recovery. Remember, he spun on the first lap. It's Terry Hawkins in 2.75. Slightly different aerofoil design, the XV8 stock car racer. Moving up to F1 this year. Chased by Russell Cooper in car number 4.15, and now Hawkins goes off. We've seen a few cars using that bit of apron, as they call it in NASCAR racing, down the home straight. Richard Howarth in trouble in 4.95. He's dropping back as Kitson gives him a friendly nudge on the way through, and Howard's going off onto the grass. Mind the marshals. Marshals surprisingly almost ignoring the car going off next to them there. Liam Gilbank's back in the mix as well after his mishap earlier on. There's not many cars left in this white and yellow grade race now. Finn Sargent chasing Gilbank, but it's still Rob Plant in 3.64 who leads the way. He's got Jack France behind him in 2.16, just between these two now, I think. Coming up to lap the veteran racer from Leicestershire, Jeff Nickolls in 2.15. He moves to the inside, out of the way, lets them through. 1 lap to go for 3.64 Rob Plant. Had some good results at Northampton on the Shale Way there last season. He's heading for his first win of the season in 2019. Round turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Our first winner at Owlerton Stadium in 2019 is Rob Plant. Jack France comes over in second place. Points confirmed third. I think it's Joe Nickolls in 2.42. There's not many cars left behind them. Russell Cooper next home, a lap down. Only 3 more cars by the look of it cross the line. We'll confirm the finishing order in just a moment. It is 3.64 of Robert Plant who takes the win in our first grade race. Plant the winner ahead of Jack France. They were clear of Joe Nickolls and everybody else well behind. Russell Cooper in 4th place, Daz Kitson 5th. Early pace setter Liam Gilbank, despite clipping that stranded car, taking 6th position, and 5.26 of Finn Sargent, the only other finisher.
3.64 Rob Plant, Whites and Yellows winner here today. Always hard to win at Sheffield. Whites and Yellows heats are no easier.
Yeah, it was hard work. It was very wet at the start. You just had to take it real steady. And I started at the back of the Yellows, looked like I'd just see everything and try and pick people off when I got going, when it eventually dried out. So no, it was good feeling though.
And obviously you've got a bit of track knowledge then for your heat.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a weird track, Sheffield. It can bite you in the arse as quick as it can praise you, but no, I like it. It's a good quick track, and no, I really do like it here.
And as a lower graded driver, do you find it good to get a win so early in the season? Does it give you that boost?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's had a good meeting at Kings Lynn and not so good at Mildenhall. But yeah, no, a win, it always helps, and gives you the bit to go forward.
I'll see how you're doing the rest of the meeting. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Ta.
Now into the main body of the meeting here at Owlerton Stadium. 2 heats, half of the entry in each. The blue, red and superstar graded cars join in for the main meeting now. John Wright and Liam Gilbank to lead them off for this one. Blue grade headed by Phoebe Wainman in 2.11. Red tops headed by number 25 Bradley Harrison. We've got the national points champion out there with the silver roof, 515 Junior Wainman. 84 the European champion Tom Harris as well. And behind them there, number 4 Dan Johnson in the orange car. Of course, took that final and grand national double at Milton Hall last time out. 541 Willie Scoyles with his new car, moving up from saloon stock car racing, starts from the back of the grid. There is Junior Wainman, along with Tom Harris and Dan Johnson, 3 of the biggest names in UK stock car racing. Liam Gilbank to lead them off in car number 20, ahead of John Wright and Wayne Marshall in 483. We are underway with heats at number 1, racing over 16 laps. Drivers looking to get places in the final. Bit of a slow start there for Mark Sargent in 3.26. He slows up, drops to the rear of the field. Junior Wainman leads the 3 superstar graded drivers off. 259 ahead of them there, Paul Hines, 220 of Will Hunter and 25 Bradley Harrison with his very smart new car. Liam Gilbank under fire from John Wright, who goes through into the lead. What a cracking start to the season he has had in that 348 car, the XF2 man. Track a lot drier, as you can see in this heat number 1. Conditions improving. Junior Wainman attacks the 220 of Will Hunter. They're going past Jeff Nickolls there, and they barge Wayne Marshall wide, and that forces Wainman onto the infield. Gets through on the inside. Tom Harris gets past him. Dan Johnson was in trouble there for a moment as well. We nearly lost Will Hunter in 220, so it's certainly heating up further back in the pack. Bobby Griffin gets past the 211 of Phoebe Wainman. 259 Paul Hines goes past her as well. Harris on the inside, he's now got ahead of Junior Wainman as a result of that little contretemps down the home straight. Phoebe Wainman runs out wide and she's collected the fence. The fence posts claim their second victim. We saw Scott Wright hit one of them in the whites and yellows race. Up front it is still John Wright and Liam Gilbank fighting for the lead. We watch the action further back in the pack. See the cars slide their way around the turns. Here are the leaders, 348 John Wright from number 20 of Liam Gilbank. Third place, it's the 532 of Daz Kitson and Bob Griffin in 166. Paul Hines up to 5th, Tom Harris 6th, 7th is Junior Wainman, 8th Dan Johnson. There's that lovely looking new car, number 25, Bradley Harrison. The first 4th generation Brisca F1 racer, of course, as we have mentioned before, chased by 220 of Will Hunter. It's getting a bit dusty out there now. Track watering possibly needed. Contrast that with the opening race. 212 Danny Wainman has pulled onto the centre. He's out of it. We'll have to go in the consolation race. 515 Junior Wainman under fire from Dan Johnson in car number 4. Leaders coming up to lap 483 of Wayne Marshall. As we reach halfway, the Union flag hung out by the start marshal, and in goes the bumper from Liam Gilbank on John Wright, sends him sideways up the inside to take the lead. Daz Kitson trying to come through as well in that 532 car. Round turns 3 and 4 they come. All Wright's going sideways. He's going to spin out. Daz Kitson spins out. Bobby Griffin spins out. Goodness me. An explosion of stock cars there on turn 4. Now who's come through? Gilbank's been handed an increased lead. I think it's Paul Hines up to second there. He went through the middle of all that in 259. Said thanks very much, I'll take second place. Tom Harris is now third ahead of Wainman. Johnson 5th. Daz Kitson's got a puncture. That's going to be the end of his race. Well, the complexion of the race changing slightly there with that multiple spin out, if you like, on turn 4. Paul Hines, I think, might have some damage as well. He's dropping back, might have bent his steering as he hit somebody in the middle of all that mess on turn 4. But it's still Liam Gilbank, number 20, with an impressive lead here. Are we going to see a white grade winner in heat number 1? There's Wayne Marshall in another of Matt Newsom's hire cars. He's a lap down. Harris ahead of Junior Wainman, but there is Liam Gilbank. He's clear at the front. Harris now up into second place because Paul Hines has dropped back. It's Junior Wainman third, then Dan Johnson. Behind him is Hines, then Bradley Harrison in the 25. Tom Harris starts to close down our race leader, Liam Gilbank. Junior Wainman trying to catch up to them. Had problems in the first meeting we covered at Milton Hall. Had some steering damage. Johnson, by contrast, totally dominated that meeting, second in his heat, then won the final, won the Grand National from the one-lap handicap. And Liam Gilbank hanged on here. Tom Harris looming large in his mirror now, the European champion. Down the back straight they go. Harris goes to the inside into turns 3 and 4, takes the lead. Liam Gilbank down to second. Surely now going to be a win for Tom the Hitman Harris. And has been racing sprint cars over in the USA, the first British driver to race in the World of Outlaws series. He's coming in to take the win in heat number 1. Out of the final turn, Tom Harris takes the checkered flag ahead of Liam Gilbank, a fine second place. Junior Wainman third. Fourth goes to Dan Johnson. Paul Hines rounds out the top 5. We'll confirm that very shortly. Just a couple of retirements from that one. Normally we see Sheffield races a bit destructive. We saw that in the whites and yellows race, but a fairly clean affair by comparison in that heat number 1. Well done Liam Gilbank, but couldn't quite hold off the 84 of Tom Harris, coming through with just over a lap to go to take the victory. Harris the winner ahead of Gilbank, with Junior Wainman third ahead of Dan Johnson. Paul Hines fifth, having almost taken second place at one point in that incident on turn 4. Bradley Harrison sixth ahead of Will Hunter. Mark Sargent recovering from a slow start to take 8th, and Bobby Griffin and John Wright rounding out the top 10.
84, Tom Harris, Heat 1 winner. That was quite a dominant drive.
Yeah, we were trying, then I was quite lucky actually. I got quite a bit of damage when I got through the pile-up, and luckily the tyre held up and bent the arm and the shock and stuff, so but the car seemed to be faster after I crashed, so I'm going to look and see what we can do to improve it.
You seem to be as much a star of social media nowadays as you are on the track. Was that a statement to other drivers maybe?
It is what it is, and about the comments last week, obviously I wasn't there, due to other commitments, but how can they say Mildenhall was a man's track? It's more like a mini roundabout. This is a man's track.
And final time, Sheffield, you get on well around here?
Yeah, the car's been good here, just no luck really, but yeah, we're just see what we can pull out the bag in this one.
And do the talking on the track.
That's it, slide comments and stuff on social media and stuff, and the men, aren't they, not girls?
Well, best of luck.
Thank you very much.
The other half of the entry on track on a freshly watered track for heat number 2. Names to look out for in this one include former world champion 55 Craig Finnikin, treble 5 Frankie Wainman Jr. Frankie JJ as we call him. Also out there we've got Mark Gilbank, father of Liam, in number 21. Mr. Box Office himself, Mick in car number 150. And 445, the 2017 world champion Nigel Green, all out there towards the back of the grid. There is Frankie JJ in his new car, treble 5. 21 of Gilbank. 409 there, that's Luke Moore, making the move up this season from the V8 stock cars, starting from red grade. No white tops out for this one except Scott Wright, our newcomer in 254. Only his second F1 meeting. He's electing to start from the back. Can start from novice grade, as it's known, for the first 3 meetings of your career. 15 cars in total on track for this one. There's Luke Moore, very smart number 409 car. There's Craig Finnikin, number 55, alongside Nigel Green in 445. Karl Hawkins, brother of Terry, in car 175. There is Mick in the 150. We're underway then with heat number 2, 16 laps the distance once again. Yellow graders leading them off. 445 Nigel Green getting the bumper in already on Frankie JJ. The early battles are going to be down in the midfield. It's Joe Nickolls who led the field away in car number 242 from the front of the yellow graders. Just catching a glimpse of them going through the foreground there. Mick out in front of the red tops early on. Setting the pace early on. 216 has taken over at the front. That's Jack France. 364 Rob Plant dropping back, our earlier winner in the whites and yellow race. 3 wide down the back straights. That's rare here at Sheffield. There's not normally much room there. Nigel Green was on the inside. I think Green's punctured a tyre, in fact. Yes, he clipped Craig Finnikin there. James Morris in 463 has spun out, the blue grader, but Nigel Green's got a puncture. That's going to be the end of his race. Rob Plant still dropping back down the order in 364. Craig Finnikin under fire there from Frankie JJ. Somebody's emitting a fair bit of smoke in there somewhere as well. That's Karl Hawkins. We're on board with Mick in car 150. He gets shoved out wide going into the home straight. There's Jack France with the early lead in 2:16 as 3:64. That was an interesting take out there. He slid back down the track rod plant and took out Craig Finnikin. That's what you call an unguided missile in motorsport. As Joe Nickolls there nearly trips over the 254 of Scott Wright as he spun out down the home straight. Nicely avoided there, Joe. Gilbank under fire from Chris Cowley in car 37. The car, as you can see, currently for sale. Bit of a fancy to go at Brisca F1 stock car racing. Maybe get in touch with the Cowley team. Behind him, Mal Brown in 34. Then we've got 175 Karl Hawkins smoking his way round. Maybe doing a bit of a Dick Dastardly, trying to lay down a smoke screen to distract his rivals. Not slowing the car down though. There's James Morris, 463. We saw him spin earlier on. There's our leader, 2:16, Jack France. His father Graham used to race under the same number. But Graham France going into the pickup truck racing championship on the circuits for a while. They were run with the Euro car package run by Sonny Howard. 21 there, Mark Gilbank. Son Liam stealing the limelight somewhat from him so far today. 34 of Mal Brown. He's an experienced campaigner, a farmer by profession. 2:16 of Jack France leads the way, clear of his opposition. Brings a lap to James Morris in 4:63. See the huge gap he's got here over the rest of the field. Stationary yellow flag out there on turn 4 to warn of perhaps a stranded car. Yes, that's the car of Scott Wright on the inside of the home straight. Here's our battle for second place. 2:42 of Joe Nickolls. 3:35, that's Mark Woodhull in third. A good battle with Dan Johnson at Milton Hall. And then in behind them we have got Mark Gilbank in the 21. Turns 1 and 2 they slide. Behind them 37 Chris Cowley, 34 Mal Brown, and then 175 Smoky Joe, aka Karl Hawkins. Still going strong despite that engine trailing smoke. Going towards the closing stages now here of heat number 2 at Owlerton Stadium, Sheffield. It's looking good for Jack France. He's way ahead of everybody else. Putting in a performance a bit like Valtteri Bottas did in the Australian Grand Prix this year. Just took the lead at the start from the outside of the front row and then cleared off into the distance. Meantime, Joe Nickolls has been taken for second. Woodhull and Gilbank going through. They're not going to catch Jack France in 2:16. He's not even trying to get near the back markers to put them a lap down. He's had it easy here almost. The motor race is easy though, of course. Mal Brown in 34, attacking Chris Cowley. Son of one of the longest serving Brisca F1 racers of all, Rob Cowley. Finally retired now at the end of his incredible career. Mal Brown gets past Cowley there, Cowley Jr. It's rare to find the son of a stock car driver who doesn't follow his father into the sport, or indeed several daughters have followed their fathers into the sports, Phoebe Wainman included. Jack France followed his dad into the sport, as we've already mentioned, and he is heading for an absolutely dominant win here in this heat number 2. Forward to take it easy out in front. He takes the checkered flag. Jack France with a dominant victory, way ahead of second place, which is Mark Woodhull. Mark Gilbank comes over in third. Mal Brown, I think, took fourth ahead of Chris Cowley. Will confirm the top 10 very shortly. But another largely incident-free race. Perhaps they're taking it easy in the heats here, and maybe things will ramp up going into the consolation and the finals later on. Jack France with the win then in car number 216. Being well clear, over half a lap clear of Mark Woodhull, with Mark Gilbank in third. Mal Brown passing Chris Cowley late on to take fourth place. Karl Hawkins, despite a smoky engine, taking sixth. A subdued Mick Sauder down in seventh, ahead of Joe Nickolls, who held second early on. Frankie JJ and Craig Finnikin rounding out the top 10.
216, Jack France, Heat 2 winner here today.
Yeah, thank you. It's been another while waiting for that to happen again. We're finally getting there now, slowly with car. Coming together slowly. We've got Lee Fairhurst helping us out a bit as well now, so now we're starting to get a bit of a better car underneath us. We should start reeling off some results.
Yeah, Lee's got a bit of an idea what he's doing, hasn't he? And from yellow around here, if you can get away from the front, you're away and gone sometimes.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, all the way through. I was looking in my mirror, because I know I got stuck behind that blue top, and I didn't really want to get into anything and end up in fence. So I just hanging on for dear life, hoping that nobody caught me.
Well, there's only the small matter of the final now as well.
Yeah, there's still time to absolutely wreck it, isn't there? But yeah, no, I think it puts us in good stance for it. We might even be able to win final, hopefully. Anyway.
Well, best of luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
One or two teams with a bit of work to do, plenty of shale to clean off ahead of the finals here at Owlerton Stadium, but some good fast-paced racing so far here in Sheffield from the Brisca Formula 1 stock cars. Join us after the break for more stock car action. Welcome back to Owlerton Stadium here in Sheffield for Brisca Formula 1 Stock Car World Championship qualifying round action. Some nice fast-paced racing in the heats, but now the action will get somewhat more hard-hitting as we go into the finals. First up will be the consolation final for those drivers who didn't make it through at the first attempt into the main event. Richard Howarth in 495, 483 Wayne Marshall and 348 John Wright, the three white graders. 15 cars out for this race in total, including Nigel Green, Danny Wainman, who failed to finish their heats. Craig Finnikin missed out on a top 8 place in the heats as well. He had a spin, riding on board with Frankie JJ in treble 5, looking back from his car. Also out there, got the new car of Willie Scoyles, number 541. Phoebe Wainman's in this one. Luke Moore as well, we can see there in 409. One non-starter there, Scott Wright in 254 on the centre green already. Richard Howarth in 495. Had a spell in the lead his heat earlier on, so eventually dropped back. 483 Wayne Marshall in the higher car alongside him. 16 laps the distance. A few places in the final up for grabs. Away they go. 364 Rob Plant could be with a chance here, winner of the white and yellow grade race earlier on. Bobby Griffin as well in 166, the former National Mini Stocks gold top. There's Danny Wainman in 212, Frankie JJ in treble 5. Wainman's everywhere in the latter half of the field for this one. Craig Finnikin past Nigel Green in 445. We ride on board with Frankie JJ in treble 5, and wallop straight in goes 409 of Luke Moore. Put himself into the fence there, slid out too wide on turn 3. Wainman's together, Danny and Phoebe. Going in there into turn 3. Phoebe Wainman on the back of James Morris and Daz Kitson. Danny Wainman gets the bumper in as well, and they collect the spun car of Jeff Nickolls. Danny Wainman goes off and crashes into a marker tyre. Oh, a real mess there on turns 3 and 4. Meanwhile, Rob Plant in 364 looks like has come through into the lead. There's a marker tyre in the middle of the track on turn 4 thanks to Danny Wainman, and the caution flag comes out as a result. We've got a couple of cars off on turn 3 as well. Well, a fair bit of mayhem there. We'll see what happened. There's a line of contact there. Kitson and Morris got bumpered by Phoebe Wainman. Then a final push from Danny Wainman, and into the spun car of Jeff Nickolls they all went. And then watch for Danny Wainman on the inside, straight into the marker tyre, does a wheelie almost over the top of it, as Phoebe Wainman goes into the fence as well. Jeff Nickolls was first to collect the fence there, and then everybody else just piled in behind him into the front of his car. And then Danny Wainman tried to steer to the inside, hit that marker tyre, flipped it over. You wouldn't believe how heavy that marker tyre is, the way it flies when hit by a Brisca F1 stock car. And then it set off almost on its own lap of the track, helped by Willie Scoyles. That tyre's going to win if it goes much quicker. Ends up in the middle of turn 4. Well, the track has been cleared and ready for a restart with Rob Plant in 364 leading the way. We're back underway, the green flag flies. Towards turn 1 they go. The white graders fighting over second place. Wayne Marshall, John Wright and Richard Howarth already well up. Craig Finnikin and Danny Wainman in 212. They get past Frankie JJ and past Richard Howarth as well. They're the two to watch by the look of it in this consolation event. Nigel Green a bit further back. It is Rob Plant who shows in front. We've already seen what he can do in the whites and yellows race at the start of the programme. Bobby Griffin into third in 166 as on board with Frankie JJ. Nigel Green attacking. The 2017 world champion goes through on the inside, attacks, and who does that bumper belong to? There's the rest of the car. It's John Wright that's gone in on turn 3 this time in 348. So that might be another caution flag with John Wright's car damaged on turn 3. Looks like he's gone head on into a fence post. It's unforgiving Sheffield circuit. Yes, the yellow flags are out. The race brought to a halt again. We said it might get more hard hitting at this stage of the meeting. We'll see what happened to John Wright. Bobby Griffin went through, then Craig Finnikin forced the 348 car out wide, and he just caught the fence post there. He was then hit by Frankie JJ, and the 348 car left in a very sorry state, missing its front bumper, but thankfully John Wright is okay. Rob Plant leads them round. Can he hang on in front ahead of the 483 of Wayne Marshall? Bobby Griffin third. Craig Finnikin is now up to fourth place. Then we've got Danny Wainman in 212. 445 Nigel Green 6th. 7th is Willie Scoyles in 541. It's Richard Howarth 8th. James Morris 9th by the look of it, ahead of Frankie JJ. And Daz Kitson, I think, is now the only other car still going. Seem to have lost Wayne Marshall in 483. No, he is still there. Apologies, I thought he'd pulled off. Still there in second place. Away goes Rob Plant on the restart in 364. 55 Craig Finnikin could be the favourites here. Took the consolation at the last meeting at Mildenhall as well. Wayne Marshall under fire from Bobby Griffin, but Finnikin's going to fire them both wide into turn 3. That's where all the action has been today, and now Marshall goes into the fence on turn 4. We lose the white grader. Good effort though by Wayne Marshall. A bit of understeer there from Rob Plant. He made a mistake coming through turn 2, and through goes Finnikin into the lead. Well, Craig Finnikin, no stopping him, the consolation specialist so far this year. Nigel Green goes up into second place. Someone over the infield there, that was Marshall as he rejoined in 483. Rob Plant now under fire from Danny Wainman in 212. He goes through behind Nigel Green. Next in the order is Griffin, then it's Plant and Willie Scoyles in 541. Moving up this year into the F1s from the saloon stocks, tangling there almost with 364 of Rob Plant. He's going to lose it down the home straight. Scoyles goes off onto the infield, taking a shortcut here. Willie Scoyles is going to rejoin on the back straight over the grass. I don't think that counts as a lap, Mr. Scoyles. Rejoins in the same place that he left the field though. Well, his family does come from a background in banger racing. Maybe he was trying a spot of figure of 8 racing, who knows. 55 Craig Finnikin leads the way then. Nigel Green now up into second in 445. We're just past halfway in this consolation race. Danny Wainman in third. Traffic ahead of him. Wayne Marshall after that spin into the fence earlier on. Rob Plant's behind the treble 5 of Frankie JJ. There's James Morris in 463. Daz Kitson in 532 behind him. We've seen his son Callum Oakes Kitson moving up to the F1s as well this season. Flash of flame there from the exhaust of 541. Willie Scoyles. He's done bangers, he's done lightning rods in a Ford Sierra, the non-contact formula. Saloon stock cars as well. Remember Harry has raced with him for a few years too. Maybe we'll see him in the F1s on a regular basis as well in the future. Craig Finnikin's clearing off in front now in the 55. Walloping goes the bumper from Kitson on the back of James Morris, who just avoids snagging a fence post there. Collect a fence post with your rear wheel, it can rip the wheel off. Finnikin still leads the way from Green. Down the back straight they go. Not much of a back straight here at Sheffield because the turns are so long. It's an overcast day here in South Yorkshire. 3 laps to go now for Craig Finnikin, former world champion. Took a year out of UK racing last year, was racing in the Netherlands. The 2017 world champion behind him. Danny Wainman, maybe a future world champion in third. Further back in fourth place, looks like it's still Bob Griffin in 166. Coming round to start their last lap this time. Can Nigel Green get on the attack here? He won the final, of course, at the season opening meeting at Kings Lynn on the Shale. Can he catch Craig Finnikin, or is it going to be 2 consolations in a row for the 55 car? Green all over the back of the 55. Can he get the bumper in on the last bend? Not easy to do last bend lunges here at Owlerton. Green trying, but he's not going to do it. And it's going to be a win for number 55, the man from Staffordshire. Craig Finnikin comes in to take the win. Nigel Green in second place. Third is Danny Wainman. He closed up well in the closing stages there. And Bobby Griffin takes fourth. The rest of the places to be confirmed. I think Willie Scoyles will count as the lap down, possibly after he took that trip across the centre green. It is Craig Finnikin who takes his second consolation win of the season here at the Owlerton Stadium. Craig Finnikin takes the win then ahead of Nigel Green, just under half a second clear at the flag, with Danny Wainman taking third. Bobby Griffin in fourth ahead of Frankie JJ fifth. Willie Scoyles seventh behind Daz Kitson. James Morris in eighth. And Richard Howarth and Rob Plant completing the top 10. They were the only finishers. Danny Wainman got the fastest lap of the race.
55, Craig Finnikin, consolation winner, and a good race.
Yeah, not bad. Got tangled up in me and then managed to sneak the consolation again, 2 in a row.
I was just going to say that this time off that you've had for work and moving home, it hasn't slowed you down any?
Not yet, but we just still need to find some more pace in the finals and that, or finish finals for a start. But we're getting there slowly again.
And are we planning on doing tarmac this year as well?
Not a lot. Tarmac's for getting there.
Well, best of luck for the rest of the meeting.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Time for the meeting final on a freshly watered and prepared track here at Sheffield. Now the action is going to ramp up a notch. 25 cars out on track for this one. Liam Gilbank in number 20 and the 495 of Richard Howarth lead them away. All the leading names who've qualified starting further back on the grid. This is going to be a hard-hitting, fast-paced, all-action stock car race, as we always see here at Owlerton Stadium. Leading the red tops round, Willie Scoyles, Mick Sorder alongside him in 150. Bradley Harrison, Paul Hines, Will Hunter, Frankie JJ, Mark Gilbank in there in the 21. Then the superstars, there's Craig Finnikin, Junior Wainman, Tom Harris, Nigel Green and Dan Johnson. They're going to be the names to watch as we get underway. Over 20 laps of racing. Power comes on. Already Tom Harris gets ahead of Junior Wainman, who goes sideways, almost tangled there with Dan Johnson. Liam Gilbank's gone, so it will be a 495 of Richard Howarth who takes the early lead. As Kitson spins in 5.32 out of the yellow grade. Already a faster pace start than we saw in the heats and the consolation earlier on. Frankie JJ nearly hits Daz Kitson's spun car. Junior Wainman, his father, gets past him going into turn 3. Craig Finnikin's made a good start in the 55 at the front of the superstars, gets past Willie Scoyles in 5.41. Race settling in with Richard Howarth in 4.95, the early leader. Kitson still facing the wrong way on turn 4. Bobby Griffin in 1.66 just avoids him. Dan Johnson making progress forward, looking for his second final win in as many weeks at the wheel of the number 4 car, winner at Mildenhall, but Scoyles bounces off him there, so does Will Hunter. Scoyles sent sideways by Junior Wainman and wallop straight in we go. That's taken out. An unlucky Will Hunter in 2.20. We've also lost Joe Nickolls in 2.42. That's a shame for Will Hunter. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time there as Wainman and Scoyles got caught up. Talking of getting caught up, Chris Cowley hitching a ride on Rob Plant's car. Get off, says Rob, fires him off again. Well, saves a bit on tyre wear, I suppose. Tom Harris starting to come through now from the back. If he wins this race, it will be the 50th final win of his career. 2.16 Jack France sends one of the white graders fence bound there. Might see who it was there on the turn. 5.41 Scoyles gets spun out now by Mark Sargent in the 3.26. Liam Gilbank has rejoined. 2.16 of Jack France fires him onto the centre, nearly goes onto the grass himself. 34 Mal Brown is in behind them. Joe Nickolls straight across the front of Chris Cowley there. Goodness me, this is a bit frantic. It was Richard Howarth we've lost there, so we've lost our leader. I think the fight now between France and Mal Brown is for the lead. Meanwhile, Junior Wainman attacks Willie Scoyles, who's been pushed from pillar to post all the way through this race. Now bounces off the side of Nigel Green in 4.45. They're really going at him further back in the pack. Chris Cowley's come to a stop in 37. Dan Johnson getting involved now, fires Nigel Green wide. Fantastic stuff so far in the first half of this meeting. There's a tangle in the background there. Rob Plant's involved. He goes across the front of Jack France. That's taken out one of the leaders. Jack France into the fence on the back straight. So Mal Brown now up front ahead of Mark Woodhull. I can hardly keep up with this race. It's Brown from Woodhull, then Mick Sorder. Tom Harris is up into 4th place. At least 3 cars involved in that schmozzle there coming out of turn 2. Rob Plant was one of them. He went across the front of, and he's now got caught up with, I think that's Jack France on the back straight possibly. The yellow flags, not surprisingly, are coming out. We'll hopefully see again what happened there on turn 2. Plant got tangled up with Frankie JJ and Mark Gilbank, it was, who crashed into them from the outside, and then Plant went across the track in recovery, took out Jack France, then hit the fence himself. It all happened a bit too quick for the eye there, coming into the back straights. So your leader is Mal Brown in car 34, the Yorkshire farmer, ahead of 3.35 Mark Woodhull. Mick Sorder up into 3rd in 1.50. He was about to challenge for the lead as the yellow flags came out. Then we've got Tom Harris, Danny Wainman, Jack France has been able to rejoin. Then we've got the 515 of Junior Wainman. A chance to draw breath for the drivers, the fans and myself. We knew it would be a frantic race, this meeting final. As we mentioned, if Tom Harris were to win this meeting final, it would be the 50th final of his career. Let's see if he can do it. The European champion with the red and yellow checkered roof. It's steady at the moment, so away they go. The power comes on, and here we go. And Jack France is going to be spun out by Junior Wainman, so he didn't even make it to the start-finish line. Range for third. Tom Harris battles his way past Mick. There's the battle between Junior Wainman, Nigel Green, Dan Johnson and Craig Finnikin. They're fighting for the minor placings at the moment. It's Brown who leads from Woodhull, Harris. Then we've got Danny Wainman, I think I'm in a fourth place, and Nigel Green's got caught up with Junior Wainman. They go into the fence, coming out of turn 4. They're stuck there trying to free themselves. That's ruined it for the silver top and for the former world champion. They're trying to back out of the fence there. Nigel Green tries to be the first to rejoin. Oh, he's hit the race leader. Mal Brown's been collected as Nigel Green reversed out there. Mark Woodhull comes through to lead. No, he doesn't. Tom Harris into the lead at turn 1. Well, it all fell into Tom Harris's lap there, didn't it? Nigel Green reversed out into unsighted into the side of Mal Brown. There's a tangle there between Willie Scoyles and Bobby Griffin. Well, Mal Brown won't be too happy there. He's down to about 5th place now. There is the 34 car. Let's check the race order in a moment. It looked as though Mark Woodhull was going to take the lead, but then Harris saw the gap and he went through. And is he on for his 50th final win of his illustrious Brisca F1 career? There's Mal Brown. He may well have some damage there to the right front as a result of that. He's dropping back down the order now. Here's the battle between Mick Sauder, Craig Finnikin, Dan Johnson. It's Harris who leads, Woodhull second, Danny Wainman is third. This is the fight for 4th place. Mick Sauder has it at the moment, ahead of Finnikin. Dan Johnson in 6th, this breathless meeting final. We're coming up towards 5 laps to go. Well, it was such a tame affair early on in the heats and the consolation, but it has really ramped up the entertainment value, the hard-hitting racing in this final. And Tom Harris is pulling away at the front. He's coming up to lap Bob Griffin in car 166. Challenge for 4th place. Craig Finnikin passes Mick Sauder. So Dan Johnson now having a go. He's not going to make it 2 finals in a row. He's mired back in the pack. Busy battling for the minor placings, the other superstars. Tom Harris's luck was in, he was able to get through. Johnson with the bumper on Sauder, he gets through into 5th place. Next through is Paul Hines in the 259. And Tom, the hitman Harris, up front in car 84. You have to feel for Mal Brown in car 34 there. He could have had this race won. I can't remember the last time the very experienced Mal Brown won a final. So Nigel Green just backed out at the wrong moment there as he rejoined from his tangle with Junior Wainman and hit the 34 car, slowing him down. Through came Tom Harris and Mark Woodhull. First 3 well clear. This is still the fight for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Junior Wainman closing up on them as well, having rejoined. It is still Tom Harris who leads. Another tangle there. Now, who was that? That was Bradley Harrison and Liam Gilbank. They've rejoined just alongside Tom Harris. Won't affect the race leader, who is heading into his last lap. Well, he was born to be a star of stock car racing, the son of ex-racer Mick Harris, number 8. Tom Harris is heading for the 50th final win of his Brisca F1 career. He's into the final turn now in car number 84. He's well clear of his opposition. It's a half century for Tom Harris at Sheffield. Second will go to, I think, Danny Wainman in 212. We'll confirm that in just a moment. There was more frantic battling on the final bend there. But it's Tom Harris's name who goes up in lights. He joins the half-century club. 50 final wins in Brisca F1. At such a young age as well. Really is one of the stars of the modern era of stock car racing. Star of American oval racing as well. Harris the winner by just over 3 seconds ahead of Danny Wainman second. Mark Woodhull going well for third. Then Craig Finnikin topping that battle for 4th ahead of Johnson, Hines, Sauder, Frankie JJ taking 8th. And then James Morris and the unlucky Mal Brown rounding out the top 10. 16 cars made it to the finish.
84, Tom Harris. Now final winner today as well.
Yeah, it was rather good in that one. I said we had some improving to do, and yeah, the car, it was really good in that.
We're used to your cars being quick, but I think today this has really been on a different level.
I've learnt a lot from my racing in America and stuff about, you know, car control and stuff. So sort of like adapting that into this, and especially on a track like this where it's so slick, it does come in quite helpful.
And you're racing in the States quite often this year as well, but you're still going to have one eye on goal later in the season, I would have thought, on this form.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Especially like I enjoy my racing, and you know, because I'm not doing a whole year, I've got no pressure. It's just, you know, go race to win. And Jamie wants me to race and win, you know, stuff the points and all that sort of stuff. So, and when I can race to win, I enjoy myself. So yeah, we're really enjoying it.
And when it's fun, you keep on doing it.
That's right, yeah, it's fun for us, it's fun for the family, it's fun for, you know, for the crowd. Hopefully we put a good show on for the crowd, and you know, I'm sure there's a few excited people about me and Mick on the restart then, and you know, it's good for the sport, and hopefully we can get people coming back and, you know, and build on this.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, cheers.
Time for the last race of the day, the Grand National, biggest grid of the day, 26 cars. Tom Harris starting from the lap handicap. Can he do a Dan Johnson and score a final and Grand National double? It's unlikely, I would say, on a large track such as Sheffield. 26 cars out there. There's Mal Brown. Can he make up for the disappointment in the final with a win here, starting alongside Jack France in 216? All the top names are out there further back. Phoebe Wainman heads the Blues alongside Chris Cowley in the 37. Bobby Griffin at the back of the Blue Tops in 166. Bradley Harrison heads the Reds. Getting ready for a start then, 16 laps to conclude the day. It's been a fine day of stock car racing here at Owlerton. Away we go, it's Wayne Marshall in 483 who will lead the field away. Already almost 4 wide in there among the red tops further back. Head of the Superstars is 55, Craig Finnikin at the start of this one. Will they all make it round the first turn okay? It looks like a bit of a slow getaway for Paul Hines in car 259. Maybe he's got an early problem. Bouncing off the back straight fence there as well. That's Frankie JJ in treble 5. Bradley Harrison gets sent out wide by Mick Sorder. 3 wide down the home straights. 415 Russell Cooper gets taken wide. 166 Bobby Griffin in there. Phoebe Wainman in 211. Wayne Marshall, the early pace setter, in 483. Somebody going off there onto the centre green. I think that might have been Richard Howarth in 495. With the race starting to settle in, this 16 lap Grand National. Let's see how far Tom Harris can make it up the field from that lap handicap of his. Andy Harrison under attack from Junior Wainman in 515. Hasn't had the best of starts to his 2019 season. As we mentioned earlier, he had to pull out of the meeting at Woodhull early on with damaged steering. Trying to make up for some good results here today. Craig Finnikin under attack from Nigel Green. They get past Phoebe Wainman in 211. Junior Wainman behind attacking Paul Hines. Bounce off each other. Phoebe bounces off Junior Wainman and hits the fence down the back straight. Family Ties being ditched among the Wainmans again, and now she's been collected by Russell Cooper. Will Hunter piles in as well. He's not had a great day in the 220 car. Looks like we could be about to have a change for the lead as well. Hunter with a puncture pulling off. Now, have we had a change to the lead in all of that? Yes, I think Jack France has come through into the lead in 216. More cars piling in at turn 3. Will we see another race stoppage? Yes, we will. Take a look at that again. It was the Wainmans bouncing off each other there. Father and daughter almost tangled up, and 211 Phoebe Wainman hit the back straight fence. She was collected by Russell Cooper and Will Hunter, and then there was nowhere to go for several of the cars behind as they piled in. Who else was involved there? We'll see in the background Mark Woodhull and Richard Howarth. They went into the fence. Now, leader for the restart is Mal Brown in car number 34. He's got ahead of Wayne Marshall. Then we've got Chris Cowley in 37. 166 of Bobby Griffin. We seem to have lost Jack France in 216. He was in that leading group. Rest of the Reds and Superstars forming up behind them. This has helped Tom Harris, of course, because he's been able to close up at the back of the field. Novice grader Scott Wright is behind him. There is the 84 car. Tail of the pack at the moment. It's 34 Mal Brown. Can he take his first win of the season? The Yorkshireman gets underway then. The green flag is out. Now towards the first turn they go. What's going to happen on this restart? 259 Paul Hines in the fire from Junior Wainman. There is Tom Harris. How far can he get up the field in this one? 55 Craig Finnikin on the attack as well, looking for his second win of the day. He's on the tail of Danny Wainman. Mark Gilbank gets sent out wide, coming off turn 4. That was by Dan Johnson in car number 4. JJ under fire from Tom Harris. Claims his first overtake of this restart. Danny Wainman side by side with Mick Sorder. Well, Mal Brown might be able to hang on in front here if things continue like this, because the Reds and Superstars seem to be more interested in battling with each other for the minor placings. Our world qualifying points at stake today, of course. 166, 55 and 212. 3 wide out of turn 4. Is that going to work? Yes, it has. 3 wide doesn't always work here at Sheffield if you're on the outside or only clouds a fence post. Tom Harris making up more places, past Chris Cowley, past Paul Hines in 259. He's also ahead of Bradley Harrison in the 25. Bobby Griffin under fire from Dan Johnson. That takes Danny Wainman wide as well. They're absolutely knocking 8 bells out of each other in the midfield. This is a cracking race, but it's all for the minor placings. They're too busy battling with each other. They haven't noticed Tom Harris has caught the rub. 445 there, Nigel Green. He's not had the best of days today, certainly. Attacking Junior Wainman. We all know what happened to them in the final. Hopefully they won't tangle again. Bob Griffin behind them in 166. We look back from Tom Harris in car 84. He claims another victim, Mark Gilbank, who gets caught up there with Danny Wainman. He goes over the centre green, rejoins. Well, Mal Brown in car 34, he's missing all the fun. He's cleared off in front, probably wondering where everybody else has got to. Mick Sorder's second, Craig Finnikin third, Dan Johnson fourth, then it's Junior Wainman and Nigel Green in 5th and 6th. Everybody battling for about 5th place. Tom Harris past Bob Griffin, that's 7th place from the lap handicap. This is impressive again from the now 50-time final winner. Next target is Nigel Green in 445. Then Junior Wainman. Is Tom Harris going to make any more progress? There's only a couple of laps to go now. Mal Brown's out in front. I don't think he's going to be caught here. He made the break on the restarts while everybody else fought with each other. They've let Mal Brown escape. Somebody spinning off there onto the centre. That's Wayne Marshall in 483, the white grader. There is Craig Finnikin attacking Mick Sorder for 2nd place. They are not going to catch the number 34 here. There is Mal Brown, just going through in the foreground. He is heading for victory. He's into his final lap. Well, he was denied a possible final win when an errant car backed out in front of him and collected him. He's not going to be denied this time. Into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Very popular victory this is going to be for number 34. Mal Brown takes the checkered flag. Mick Sorder 2nd. Craig Finnikin 3rd. Where has Tom Harris made it up to? I make that 7th place. Another great drive by the hitman. But it is Mal Brown who takes the win in car number 34. Making up for the disappointment of the final. His first win of the season. We'll confirm the results in just a few moments' time. Mal Brown taking the win. Mick Sorder 2nd ahead of Craig Finnikin, and then the big battle behind, topped by Dan Johnson ahead of Junior Wainman, then Nigel Green, Tom Harris an excellent 7th from the lap handicap, then Mark Gilbank, Paul Hines and Danny Wainman rounding out the top 10. 16 cars made the finish. Tom Harris on the fastest lap.
34, Mal Brown, Grand National winner. It's been a while since we've said that.
Yeah, I haven't won a Grand National for quite a while, I suppose, but I was going well at final, and Nigel backed out of fence right in front of me. I might have had a good chance of, although Tom will come in, you know, but I might have had a good chance of getting a decent place in that, like. But it bent bumper onto the wheel, so I couldn't turn left, so I had to rev it a bit to get round in final, but got 10th, so a few little points, but
And track conditions were a bit tricky in that. It was very wet at the beginning, but then dried out nicely at the
inside,
end.
So when you come halfway down the bend and it's wet, you come across it and it just drifts to the coming out of the bend, and the last thing, that's how everybody hits the fence down the straight. You know, but I know, don't I? So you lift a little bit as you do it. So, you know, but that's how
Mick was coming on strong at the end there as well. Could you see him coming?
I could see him coming, so I would have 8 when when it was 2 to go, I was just not doing out daft, because track goes slick and you can do out, you know, you can go in and spin off it right easy, you know, so I just
and a win always boosts everybody, so yeah. Look forward to the next meeting now.
Yeah, a few qualifying points, just what I need. Yep.
Well, thank you very much.
See you there.
Let's take a look at the grading points then after Sheffield. Dan Johnson, thanks to that final and Grand National double at Mildenhall, is still well out in front. It's now Craig Finnikin in 2nd ahead of Nigel Green, with Junior Wainman just a point further back. Tom Harris 1 point behind him ahead of Mick Sorder. A great fight in prospect over the course of the season. Dan Johnson has certainly established himself with a healthy early lead. A long way to go yet in the 2019 season. Another enjoyable day of racing here at the Owlerton Stadium in Sheffield, the fastest shale track in Brisca Formula 1 stock car racing. Well done to Tom Harris on his 15 final wins. Next action from us comes from the Tarmac Oval at Wheels Raceway in Birmingham. Join us for that soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.